Hello indie game fans, even though level editors have been around for the longest of time, games like Super Mario Maker have redefined a new era of such games due to how everything can be easily shared across the internet these days. So here's a look at some build-your-own type indie games, where I've broadened the scope a little to include games with fantastic level editors of their own, even if it can be seen as a side thing in addition to the main story mode. Let's begin with BQM Block Quest Maker, a build-your-own action-adventure RPG that has a decent voxel look. It's a 3D title, but where the items have to be placed on a grid, with the gameplay portion consisting of venturing into dungeons, fighting monsters, and getting loot and equipment, all of which is fairly standard stuff, but there are quite a number of user creations in this game. Pretty ambitious title, although there is some grinding to unlock components to build with. It comes to us from a small Japanese developer and does seem like it's flying a little under the radar, so if it does look good to you, do show it some love. Our first title that's not purely focused on the level creation and sharing is Geometry Dash, an old school title that dates back to 2014 and still has quite a strong community 7 years later. With the immense popularity and success of this game, there will naturally be a huge user base in the associated level creations, which does translate into near infinite game if you know where to look, being an OG example of how to do level creation right. This video is brought to you by Super Dungeon Maker, a build-your-own action-adventure title that looks as if the developers got fed up with waiting for Nintendo to release Zelda Maker and decided to make their own. From the trailer, there does appear to be quite a number of items and enemies that you can place, even building out the overall dungeon consisting of different rooms, where the description on the Steam store page even talks about being able to create bosses and to determine their movement and attack patterns. This does have a wonderful pixel art look, and an adorable main character in the chicken named Fink, of course being a tribute to Link, so I hope that the community can grow around this game and that we all get some awesome dungeons to play. The demo of this game will be released very soon, with the early access launch planned for Q4, so stay tuned and I'll let you know when it drops. Quick little trailer for Slime Sun Creator, the level editor to one of the most underrated precision platformers out there, where if, by some miracle, I can spark some sorts of community with it, that would be great. But you should definitely pick up the Super Slime Edition, which does include Creator and 3 whole story campaigns as well. One of the newer entries on this list is Maker King, releasing in Steam Early Access in August this year and has a little bit of momentum. For one, I do love the aesthetic, which does remind me of Flash games or titles inspired by those like Super Adventure Pals, where the creations shown off in this trailer do look to be on the devious end of things. In addition to the Mario equivalent hazards and items like the saw blades, for example, there does appear to be a more freeform builder as well, such as being able to build a mount or the dragon looking thing here, with some later sequences bordering on Kaizo Mario difficulty, although I'm sure it's not as intense. Still, a decent little game which has been getting steady updates, most recently being Halloween, and it is a free-to-play game with cosmetic customization, so no harm checking it out. A title that people seem to love is Levelhead, a build-your-own platformer from the developer of the survival action-adventure game Crashlands, with an impressive level editor as well. However, I'll be honest, the physics felt a little off to me, but do give it a try nonetheless. Like Geometry Dash covered earlier, N++ is another OG title that dates back to the Flash game era on the internet, and as such, has garnered a huge fan base that rolls over from one iteration to the next, with the team's magnum opus so far being N++. As expected, this has a very powerful level editor as well, with, at the time of launch of this game, at least 10,000 user levels, which is a mind-blowingly huge number, making it another title that is worth every penny since there's just so much to play. Let's kick off the top 3 with I Wanna Maker, one that, if you cannot already guess from the name, is a title that allows you to make unfair platformers like I Wanna Be the Boshi or I Wanna Be the Guy, coming up with inventive ways to screw over the player, and now you can do it as well. As compared to more straightforward platformers like Mario Maker or Levelhead covered earlier, the level creation tools are perhaps more interesting, especially when you think of examples of how these games work. For example, if you try to make a jump from left to right, there have been cases where the entire landmass on the right moves away and the player character falls into the pit, meaning that the tools that the developers have to build around this game must be pretty impressive. It's another early access title which is free to play, but what is there is fully functional and has a decent sized community, making this a title of interest. I hope I'm not blowing up the spot of the developer of Mega Man Maker, an unofficial fan creation that of course stars the Blue Bomber, somehow not triggering Capcom just yet, with this game recently celebrating its 4th anniversary, so I guess they must be doing something right. As compared to Mario, I would think that a Mega Man level is more complex in design, since enemy placement is critical, as well as the overall flow of the entire stage. Impressively, it does even allow you to customize the various weapons and even includes some new ones of their own. One of the most important parts of Mega Man games are the bosses, where the developers have not only included classics from earlier games like Cutman or Woodman, but even went the extra mile to remake bosses from Mega Man 11 in line with the art style of the classics, finding a way to translate their mechanics and such, which is pure genius. It has also been getting steady updates, most recently version 1.7 earlier this year, but as with all fan games, there may be a ticking timer on this one, so please check it out while you can. I covered the most recent updates of Ultimate Chicken Horse that added a hippo character and a new level just a couple of days ago, and in doing my research for that video, was pretty impressed by this multiplayer build-your-own platformer. You are placing hazards and platforms such that only you can get to the finish line, but all players are on the same footing in terms of controls and platforming, which makes it a game of skill. Despite being released in 2016, it does still have quite a healthy player population, peaking at 470 as of recording on Steam, and does have cross-platform support as well, although I do still think it's best with friends in the same room, but for its enduring legacy, it takes the number 1 spot. For more platformer titles, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.